how to get a loan for your new construction deal. This is a big part of the new construction process, getting funded. You really need to have the money to be able to build a house. So you want to make sure that you understand the steps on how to get a new construction loan. This will allow you to get the money to build your new construction structure. There are three primary off the back elements that a lender and a bank will look for when giving you a new construction loan. Number one, your credit score. Typically, they're going to want a credit score about 650 and above. 650 really is the starting base point. Maybe 620, depending on what bank, what type of programs they have, because banks have different varying programs. But just to fundamentally think, 650 can get you into a loan. Work history. They want to know typically that you have at least a 2-year work history, that you've been working at the same place for at least 2 years. It shows consistency. It shows a pattern that you're able to hold down a job. And of course, for them, make sure that their loan is going to get paid out. And of course, income. Decent income. Now, income may vary in accordance to your debt, but I'm going to take a stab at it and say people fundamentally know if they have a good job. So you know if you're 25 years old, you live in the southeastern section of the United States, and you make about $38,000 to $45,000 a year, that's a pretty decent job. Maybe as you get a little older, you would and have more kids, it is required that you do have more income to kind of have that balance of what would be a good job based on your evolving circumstances. But you really want to have a relatively decent income. I'm not going to get into specifics of the income because it varies depending on what you're doing. But the point is that you really want to have a fundamentally good income. Now, primarily, there are two types of loans that you can get in terms of how you're taking on the loan. So you can go in as a primary home buyer. So going as a primary home buyer, that means this is your personal residence. Generally, the down payment is a little bit is lower, and these loans are easier to get into because it's your primary residence, your first time home, and they know from an emotional commitment standpoint, it's just going to be your main priority. So these loan programs tend to be easier, and there tends to be more programs designed for it. So you do have your primary residence, and then you have your investment property and second home. So investment properties, second homes, they also are very accessible, and these are deals that you can get into. Sometimes they require a little bit more down payment, but it's just another variation. So look for first-time home buyers, investment properties, and second homes. These are the types of loan programs that they will have designed for these particular portals to get into deals. So the documentation, when you're getting into the loan process and you decide whether you're going to go first, let's say you're going as an investment property, you're doing a new construction property, it's a property that you're going to sell, you're going to need documentation. The bank, the lender is going to ask you before they even get started, or as they're getting started, they're going to ask you for your pay stubs. They're going to want to see pay stubs, at least two to four pay stubs, think in terms of that. Of course, your credit authorization form. This form allows them to see that, allows them to pull your credit, gives them the ability to do that based on your permission. The 4506T. This 4506T is just a basic form that allows them to verify your income with the IRS. You say that you filed for XYZ dollars, you tell them, you present tax returns to them, and they just want to make sure the 4506T allows them to verify that. Of course, identification, such as your driver's license and your tax returns as well. So as we just discussed, they're going to want to see your tax returns as well. They want to see 1099s, they want to see W-2s, they want to see some form of reporting in your tax returns. Now, when you go forward and you get past that part, if you're doing new construction, they want to see what you're building, what type of property you're coming with. So, you could be doing a ranch, a raised ranch, colonial, what you're building, how much cost is attached to it. So they're going to see blueprints. Where are your plans? Where are your blueprints? You have to have that submitted. They're also going to want to see a survey of the property. The survey comes, they survey the property, tells them the size, tells them the topography of the property, and will tell them exactly what you have confirmed, the acreage, the size, quarter acre lots, 2 acres, whatever that variation may be. Also an appraiser. An appraiser is going to come out for the bank and appraise the value of the land and appraise the property value itself. So it's the forecast of the property that's going to be there. They'll be able to say, okay, in this location, once you build this property, it'll be worth XYZ dollars. And by the way, the land's value is at XYZ dollars itself. And they're going to want the title. They need the title to confirm that you actually own the property, and titles, of course, shows ownership. So you need to have the title pulled by the attorney, which is going to send it over to the bank's attorney, and they're going to confirm, and the bank as well also, and they're actually going to confirm that you own the property. So the additional things that they're going to need as they go into their underwriting process is the plans, survey, appraisal, title. Now, here's an interesting part to pay attention to when you're doing new construction and you're getting new construction loans is how do you structure the down payment? The down payment comes in two forms or can come in two different ways. One, if a bank is loaning you $150,000 and they require a 20% down payment, that means they're going to need $30,000 from you. They're going to need 20% of $150,000. They're going to need $30,000 as their down payment. Or you can own the lot that you're going to be building on. You can own that lot free and clear. So you paid $30,000 for the lot, and you're going to use the lot itself as the down payment. They'll accept that. And not only will they accept you using the lot as a down payment, but once the deal gets funded, they will actually cut you a check for 75% of the lot's value to 100% of the lot's value so you can begin construction. So this is powerful. You can actually pay for the lot and then borrow against the lot, which your construction loan will allow you to do so that you can begin construction right after you close. So let me go back through that again. If a bank is going to say, hey, listen, we're going to give you $150,000 to build, they're going to say, look, we'll give us 20% down cash. We'll give you which would be $30,000 on $150,000. We'll loan you $30,000. We'll loan you the $150,000 so you can build once you give us $30,000. Or they can say, hey, look, buy that lot, or you already own the lot, and they're going to say, okay, fine, pledge the lot as collateral. The lot could cost you $10,000, could cost you $20,000, but as long as it appraises for over that $30,000, you can use that lot as the down payment. And once you use that lot as the down payment, they will turn around and fund you, give you the $50,000 loan to start building on it. And they will immediately give you 75 to 100% of that lot's value, so you can begin construction after you close the loan. So that's very important to remember. Those are the two ways that you fund your down payments. And then, of course, you go into underwriting, and of course underwriting will ask you for various stipulations as you go through the process, maybe some things about your current mortgage or your current rent, just to get an idea what your income, your debt to income is like, how much debt you have. But fundamentally speaking, these are the key factors and the key things you will need to go into underwriting to actually be able to get that loan done. These are the key points to look out for. And for doing that and taking on these processes, getting these things into the underwriter and the account executive handling your loan, you should have no problem going through. Just know that these are the things you're going to need. Any questions, give me a call, DJ Richards, 347-772-0943, or you can email me at drichardsrres@gmail.com. See you at the closing.